DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the FL1 Betting Podcast here on FingerLakes1.com. Paul Russo and Jim Sinicropi here in studio with you for the week. Our normally scheduled programming. Week 18 of the NFL is upon us, kind of crazy. So we'll dissect as best we can what we can get to with picks. We'll obviously be recapping our past weekend as well. But first, I think a couple more of our sponsors, including Dewey's Tavern. Dewey's Tavern within walking distance from downtown Saga Falls, just across the Bridge Street Bridge. You can play quick draw, lottery, and 19 televisions for all your sporting events. Great food for lunch or dinner with bocce, dart, and pool leagues. You can check them out online at deweysthirdward.com. And the Perfect Pair Eatery, quality carry-out cuisine in Seneca Falls. Everything made fresh in-house. Smoked meats, comfort classics, desserts, sweet treats, sure to please the entire family for lunch or dinner. We're also offering business lunch drop-off on Monday and Tuesday. You can reach out at perfectpaireatery.com or call at 315-712-4004. Look for the yellow door at 64 West Baird Street in Seneca Falls. So let's get right into this, Jim. Kyle not here, so we'll be picking up for him. And
I've been sick for a while now.
Yeah, he's been battling a bug that's been going around. So you guys were both 2-1 on the weekend, so not bad. The only, Jim, for you, the only thing that nipped you was the Fenway Bowl with UNC.
Stupid.
Well, hindsight's 2020. The ACC outside of Syracuse and Louisville just struggling in bowl games. It is what it is. But
embarrassing.
But
for North Carolina, honestly, because they played Connecticut, they got crushed.
Yeah. But Nebraska handled Boston College pretty well in the Pinstripe Bowl, so 1-for-1 in the baseball stadiums for football. Jim can't complain, but
Kyle's unbelievable. 25. He's up 15 units on the season. Like that's better than any sports betting service that you would pay for. I mean, people should watch this podcast and tail Kyle. It wasn't like this last season.
No.
Well, because
Kyle and fade me.
So, great year for Kyle, and without a doubt, it's kind of incredible. I got off to like a horrible start, and since have crawled back, but I think I've, for the most part, in the last 2 months, had winning weeks every week, but we'll see if we can do it one last time here. Or the show will continue through the playoffs and stuff, but this is the last week of the regular season. 18, week 18, no fantasy football anymore. All the games. There's no Thursday night game. I mean, is there a Monday night game?
No.
Yeah, I mean, every game's on Sunday.
Well, not every game.
Saturday. Two Saturday games and then Sunday. So, it's the last red zone of the year. And it should be a good one. Although you got so many odd games with teams playing backups because they're already in. Some games, but you have some really gems of games too.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Minnesota. Commanders, Cowboys.
Holla. And then speaking of that, go back to the bet card from last week. You and Kyle had a bit of a lock battle, and you came out on top for that one. You had the outright winner anyway with the Vikings over the Packers.
Yep.
So, excellent job there.
Yeah, the Vikings are,
I
mean, since the very beginning of the season, they've been underrated. And the biggest game of the year, Vikings-Lions coming up Sunday. I don't know what side to take.
Yeah.
Kyle has a pick, though.
He does. He does have a pick there. We'll get to that in a second. And then for me last week, I did believe in Deion Sanders, and I got smoked for it for the first time all year. So good job by me. Good job following the ACC with Miami and Cam Ward. We talked about
that was bullshit.
We talked about that.
Excuse my French, but Cam Ward at halftime, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah. We talked about that on Monday, though, a little bit.
Yeah.
And At least my Mandos got me through the weekend with 1 win, so we'll take that.
That is really amazing for you as a Commanders fan to think that this is where you are right now.
Yeah.
Going into the season, seemed like more rebuilding. Couldn't imagine Jaden Daniels would be this good. And now I don't know if you're Super Bowl contenders. I don't know if you go that far, but you're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends first round, and that's why you kind of mentioned a little bit, right? Teams playing backups and stuff like that. But there are also teams going at it for seeding purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington's in that field, for example, that they're in the playoffs. But it's funny because I do have a couple other, friends of mine who they've asked me, like, who would you rather see? Would you rather go to Philly or go to L.A.? And I'm like, I weirdly would rather go to L.A. than go to Philly. So I'd much rather have the 6th seed than the 7th seed.
Yep. That's what they're playing for.
Yeah, and they certainly aren't the only ones. We mentioned those 2 Saturday games. It's AFC North battle with the division on the line, and then also impacting seeding-wise and even getting into the playoffs potentially on the line on all day Saturday.
So what are the 2 games Saturday again?
So the 2 games on Saturday, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh,
Yep.
Baltimore at Cleveland. I think Cleveland and Baltimore is actually the 1 p.m. game.
Right.
And then Cincinnati-Pittsburgh is the 4 p.m. or whichever.
Yeah, I mean, that game's huge. It seems like, the Bengals are just on an inevitable crash course for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they do need help. They need to beat Pittsburgh, and then they need the Chiefs to beat the Broncos.
Yep.
Which the Chiefs are locked in at 1 seed, so I don't know how much they're going to try to win that game. Carson Wentz is starting, so
yeah, I mean that's been announced since even before this past Sunday.
You know what? The Chiefs don't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. The Bengals have always had the Chiefs' number, so yeah. I mean, I think I don't know what the line is on that Broncos game. But Broncos seem like a good bet.
Yeah.
In the fact that I don't think the Chiefs want to win that. I don't think the Chiefs want to see the Bengals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then the Dolphins have to beat the Jets need to beat the Dolphins for Cincinnati to get in. So those are 2 kind of unlikely circumstances. Yeah. But like I said, it just seems like for the past month the Bengals are on a beeline to make the playoffs despite starting 1-4 this season.
And even during this run, despite some of the best efforts of their own team.
Yeah.
But, hey, it's kind of like Washington in a way. I mean, we just got some, maybe not championship team of destiny stuff, right? But just kind of, through whatever will or fruition that it might be, you end up in the spot that you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I know for me personally, I avoided the games where at least I knew people would be sitting out. I'm not a big fan of kind of dealing with that stuff. It's just whatever. And it's kind of tough to navigate. I know it's funny you mentioned there's no fantasy stuff. I do know of people in a couple of weeks who still have fantasy going
into. They do their championship in week 18?
It's psychopathic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But they do it. More power to them.
Have fun. I'm glad. How would you like to have Patrick Mahomes?
No, I was in a league once where we did have a championship. This was back during the 17-week season, but it was just like, I remember I had like a couple backups in where it's like, this is just stupid.
There's no way to decide a championship.
Yeah, to say the least. So, all right. Excuse me. Want to get to the picks for the week?
Sure. Give us Kyle's first since he's not even here.
Yeah, so I have Kyle's picks. Send them over. Excuse me. He's got the Bills minus 2.5 at New England. So he is going with that.
Well, there's a question as to who's going to play for the Bills, right? It's not official.
Correct.
That they're going to sit guys.
Yeah, because
Allen wants to win the MVP.
Yeah. They are locked into the 2 seed, but
it's a mystery.
It's been pretty much mum's a word over in Orchard Park through the week about what's going to happen. So
they're back. You think they're backups? You think Mitch Trubisky and company it could beat New England?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. Although, the Bills have always been a next man up type of team this year.
We talked about it on Bills Weekly, me and you, Jim, and we did no predictions on that game for a reason.
Yeah.
Just
because it's a mystery.
Yeah. So
Somewhere maybe a game like that's a live bet game.
for sure.
You kind of wait till the first quarter gets underway and you kind of see what's going on, and then
or you get to game time and you have fast enough thumbs before the market gets wonky when stuff gets officially announced. But yeah, speaking of a game like that, Kyle's also taking the Chiefs plus 10.5 against the Broncos.
Oh man,
Yep.
10.5 is a lot. I was wondering what the line was on that. Carson Wentz is a capable quarterback.
Yeah.
But who else is sitting for Kansas City?
Exactly.
Like Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, Pacheco, Kareem Hunt.
Yep. I mean, the running back.
Defensively, who's sitting?
Exactly. The running back situation is an interesting one only because Pacheco I could see sitting outright out just because obviously he's been dealing with injury.
He hasn't been the same since he's been back either.
Maybe Hunt plays a little bit. I think they don't have a choice but to kind of play him a little bit.
Samaje Perine?
Well, you have Carson Steele.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
I mean, who?
Kelsey probably won't play.
No, yeah. I mean, you're probably seeing a lot of Noah Gray and the other guy there, but
I don't even know if you want to see Noah Gray play because he's been a key part of their offense too especially the second half of the season.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't have been my call. I know for me personally, I didn't end up taking this game, but I was really tempted to take the Browns plus 17.5 against Baltimore. But
so many points.
Opted against it.
Now, does Baltimore have something to play for? Yes.
Yeah. But either way, Kyle's last pick though, he is doing Detroit minus 2.5 against the Vikings. So Kyle sticking his flag in this, saying who he thinks will get that number 1 seed and the
He's
AFC,
been pro
NFC North
Detroit and anti Minnesota for most of the season.
Yeah.
In his picks, and burned him last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I got opinions on that game too.
Yeah. So, you went 2-1. You had the better week out of me and you. So up to you. You want me to roll for my picks first, or?
Oh yeah, go ahead because I got a few here that I can go opposite if we match.
So I do have one of the bowl games, and even though it kind of goes back to what we talk about a lot because we can't bet New York teams here in New York, but for the sake of the podcast, I'm taking the Bulls of Buffalo over Liberty Saturday in the Bahamas Bowl minus 2.5. Liberty's lost a ton of kids into the transfer portal, so also I'm letting my bias show there by going against them. So I'm taking UB to represent up here in upstate to continue the good vibes.
State's college team.
New York 2-0 right now statewise in bowl games. Can we make it a clean sweep at 3-0?
Does anybody care?
Well, true. All right. I'm doing the Bengals minus 1.5 at Pittsburgh Saturday.
I like it too.
You mentioned, right? I mean, Jim, they just kind of seem to have everything kind of falling their way right now. On the opposite side, Pittsburgh's kind of had everything to kind of not go their way the past month. So I'm kind of going.
The Steelers have been a big disappointment the past few weeks. They've had some big games, and I bet them and lost. I had faith in them. They seem like they're falling apart. The Bengals are trending. Imagine that might be a high-scoring game too.
Yeah.
The way that the Steelers' defense hasn't been the same, but yeah, I like the Bengals too there.
And then my final one, I'm laying a lot of points here, but again, it's a team that has to play. Well, they don't have to play. They're locked into the playoffs, but seeding-wise here, I'm taking Green Bay minus 10 at home against Chicago. Again, Chicago's just look. I don't know if they've necessarily quit, but they're
a mess.
They sure as hell have not.
They're a mess. Green Bay's coming off a loss. I do think Green Bay will. I mean, these point spreads are crazy.
Yeah.
For NFL games.
Yeah.
17-10. But yeah, I think that Green Bay coming off a loss in a big game wants to get some momentum going into the playoffs. They want to make a statement, and Chicago is a complete mess.
Yeah. So I think the Packers. I know it's a lot of points still, but whatever. I who cares? I got -3 in my bank.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
So I need to autocorrect myself here. Cleveland, Baltimore, 4:30 on Saturday. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, 8 p.m. on Saturday. So.
Oh wow, I like that.
So.
Especially, I think Syracuse basketball plays early in the day.
Yeah, I don't. The fact that I decided to still make any part of that Wake Forest game preferential viewing is an indication of the sicko nature of fandom. So,
Yeah, it's awful.
yeah.
But that's enough for another podcast.
Yep. So, Jim, the floor is yours for your picks.
All right. I got Dolphins minus 2.5 over the Jets.
Okay.
It's unsure if Tua will play or not.
I can get you pretty much a push, actually.
Money line?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I got this is from a couple days ago, so
Yeah, I can get you at a push right now.
I'll take it.
All right.
They need a win and a Denver loss to secure the third and final spot in the playoffs. So we're talking about Cincinnati having a chance. Miami has maybe even a better chance. And they've owned the Jets lately, and the Jets, despite still fielding all these superstar talent,
About to say, speaking of hot mess.
it's just it's unbelievable how bad they are. And Aaron Rodgers should probably retire. But anyways, give me the Dolphins. Why not? Cowboys at Commanders. Over. I'm taking the over. What's the best you can get me? I got 43.5 here.
43.5 is what I got.
Yeah, I mean they're 11-5. Your Commanders.
Hell yeah.
To 11-5 to the over.
Hell yeah.
They're 11-5 to the over this year. So I've scored more than people think. And Jaden Daniels and the rest of your boys should have revenge on their mind, against Dallas after losing 34-26 back in week 12.
Yeah.
So CeeDee Lamb might not play. That might hurt a little bit with Dallas scoring, but yeah, I'm taking the over. Give it to me.
Love it.
And then I got a little bit of an odd one here. I got the Chargers team total over 23.5 at the Raiders. Okay. Not the game total, the Chargers team total.
Is that 23.5?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I think the Chargers are going to score 24 points. They've been putting up points at a pretty good clip the past few weeks.
They've changed the interface on me here. Hold on.
Oh, I got it 23.5. That's fine. I mean, yeah, if you can get me another half point.
Actually, the best line I can get you is a 22.5.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's much better.
You got it.
That's a full point better.
So.
And those are my 3 picks. All right. Going with some totals and going with the Dolphins.
I mean, sometimes you gotta, especially a week 18 like this. Not to say you're getting in the weeds by doing a team total over, right? I mean, those have become pretty commonplace bets, but
not on this podcast.
Correct. You have to get a little bit creative.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with that.
Lions, Vikings. I like the over, even though it's 57. I mean, anybody that's watched those teams the past month, and
actually right now, depending upon what books you're looking at, the best lines available are 55s and a halves right now too.
Yeah, the big point total for an NFL game. You won't see them get much bigger than that unless you go to college.
Right.
But the Detroit's averaged 33.3 points per game, and even better than that at home, 35.9 at home this season. And over the last 4 games, they've been averaging 37.5. And, of course, you got Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, and the rest of the Vikings, being unstoppable on offense. And I predict a shootout. A fun game.
Oh, yeah.
In the game of the year as far as regular season goes.
No, for sure. I mean, got lucky that it's going to be the Sunday night kind of finale.
Yeah, they must have flexed that, right? At some point.
I mean, they kind of held their cards, obviously, for Week 18 because they don't – I mean, the main thing is you don't want somebody playing and then a team doing something that they might look upon negatively of sorts. So,
well, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, I think the main thing is having each division play at the same time as each other.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever, but yeah.
Well, who gets affected by this one?
Right.
I mean, like the Lions, like
Green Bay and Chicago play at 1 anyway, so.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is no matter what happens earlier in the game, in the day, this game is still going to matter both these teams.
Correct.
And there's nothing that knowing the outcome of this game that would affect any other games either, right?
Yeah, I think no matter what, this is win gets the first seed, and then loser gets the 5th seed. So
One thing on Kyle's side for leaning with the Lions this time, I think is that in the Minnesota's 9 games since November 3rd. It's hard to believe they played 9 games since November 3rd, but that's 2 months play. November 3rd doesn't seem that long ago, but they played 9 games. It's only 2 of their opponents have been above 500, and only 1 of their past 5 games has been on the road.
yeah.
So now they're going to Detroit, playing the best team they've played maybe all year. And, so I kind of see it's just that I can't get over how depleted that Detroit defense is.
Yeah, they might be getting reinforcements the way it sounds, but I know Anzalone sounds like he might be playing, which is kind of crazy. But
Yeah,
I don't know if one guy is going to make all the difference. Obviously, for like you said, depleted might be an understatement.
right.
So either way, it's the beauty of it. Look, if you tuned in Monday, you knew we had a special for the college football playoff quarterfinal stuff. And then obviously what happened with the terrorist attack down in New Orleans. Sugar Bowl's now today at 4, Thursday here. We mentioned our picks a little bit Monday for that, but do you have a quick lock for that game before we get out of here?
I like Georgia
Georgia?
with the -2. I think it was -2.
I think now it's swung to like +2 for Georgia.
+2?
I swear to God. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm going to log on and get my bet in before kickoff.
Let me double check that quick, but I'm pretty sure I saw at this point Notre Dame, I think, was like a 1-point favorite. I thought I saw.
I have a problem in
terms of
college. I have a problem in college. I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like Ohio State. I don't like Penn State, and so I naturally just bet against them because I want them to lose.
Yeah, I can get you if you do it this way. Georgia's +1.5 on FanDuel right now.
So why did that flip?
I don't know.
Because it was opened at -2.
I'm guessing it's a lot of kind of
money
running.
going on Notre Dame.
Well, I'm guessing it's but I'm guessing it's a lot of people who were, I don't know, about skeptical of Gunnar Stockton and now become even more skeptical. But
yeah, but it's a running offense. I mean, this game's going to be. I like the under maybe in this one because I think it's going to be a matter of who can stop the other team's running game.
Yeah, and that was my pick Monday was the under I liked at 45.5, still is 45.5.
People give a lot.
That's my de facto lock. It pains me that I'm rooting for Notre Dame of sorts here. If you want me to pick a side, but
They're never going to root for Notre Dame. Sorry.
I'm going. I'm sticking with it. My under 45.5 for Monday.
The Georgia win over Texas in the SEC championship game, that seemed to be like a rejuvenation for all of a sudden people are like, oh, Georgia's going to win the national championship. But Texas, not that good, right? I mean, Arizona State was picked to finish last in the Big 12 preseason.
Yeah.
And now they basically beat Texas. Yeah. Texas advanced because you see that the targeting, the helmet to helmet. Yeah. I mean, come on. So so maybe I am giving Georgia too much credit for that win over Texas in the SEC championship. But we'll find out, I guess.
My bracket's busted because I had Oregon going all the way. So
to see Penn State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State be in the Final Four, that's like a nightmare scenario. I don't like any of those schools for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
mostly related to Syracuse and their conferences Syracuse has been in, and
I'm with you.
So,
yeah, no, I'm with you.
Which means our only hope would be Texas. If Georgia loses tonight, then the only hope for one of those teams not to win would be Texas. And I don't want Ohio State to win because I don't like what they did to Kyle McCord, and I want Kyle McCord to get the last laugh. And but Ohio State looks obviously like the team to beat at this point.
Especially in my mind, you can say what they want. I mean, I know offensively they were rolling yesterday, but defensively was where I was impressed with them yesterday again. So. Yeah, that's why we play the games.
These big state schools, I mean, that's another thing that I don't really love the big state schools. Yeah. They have too many resources at the expense of taxpayers. Yeah. Where you got schools like Syracuse, they do it all themselves.
So, yeah.
They don't have those resources.
No. Well, I don't know. I'd say luckily tonight you don't have to worry about that because we got 2 private schools, but either way.
Yeah. Yep. No. But Georgia's not a state school. Yeah.
No, they're University of.
University of Georgia. Good for them.
So.
Yeah. Another reason to root for Georgia.
All right. We'll get out here on that note.
Century.
What?
The Century
right, yes.
Tournament of Champions is this week.
Yep.
And it's a small field. I think we talked about it on Monday, but it's a small field. So I got a bet to win on Sahith Thagala, who was tremendously undervalued. I think he came in second last year. And then I got a long shot on Davis Riley, like $10 to win, like, I don't know, 10,000 maybe. Yeah. It's crazy because he's the second to work. I don't really understand it. This course at Kapalua is kind of like an equalizer. It's wide open. It's downhill. Even if you're not a long hitter, you're going to hit 400-yard drives because of the wind and the elevation changes. So I think it's kind of wide open. So I think it's worth taking a couple long shots. And but if I really did have to pick who I really think might win, I got a feeling about Justin Thomas. Sahith Thagala or Justin Thomas.
I like that.
So, but golf is back now every week until the FedEx Cup.
Yeah. No, I know for not so much for me. I know I got a couple friends who bet it hardcore, but we're only really now technically a matter of days away from the Australian Open as well for tennis, which is the first kind of big kickoff as well for
the first Open, the first major.
Yep. So
of the year in tennis.
Yeah.
You saying they bet tennis?
Oh yeah. You can make some money in tennis. I've done it before. I'm not good at it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time, but you can do it.
Yeah.
That's a good live bet, by the way, too, is tennis.
Well, there was some scam going on where the guys would sit in the stadium itself and be able to transmit what happened on the point before the line updated. Yeah. I think they've rectified that. I don't know. I'm not a huge tennis fan.
Okay. I just typically when I watch it, it's usually the majors. So
yeah, of course.
But yeah, either way, a lot of options on the table here as we are officially into 2025. So we'll get out of here on that note. Appreciate everybody for listening in and tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday, usual time of 2 p.m. Like, share, and subscribe. All the fun stuff on the FairlyX1.com YouTube channel and major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Amazon Music. We'll be back again next Thursday, everybody. Good luck on your bets this weekend.